Hello, sleepers. It is I, Baby Trump, speaking from one of my absolutely spectacular properties. Tap like, subscribe beautifully, and tonight I will tell you a very luxurious little tale called Goldilocks and the Three Governors. The sheets were tremendous, the moon looked polished, and the room smelled faintly of cedar and victory. I glanced out across white stone terraces, clipped hedges, and polite fountains, and decided adventure would improve an already perfect evening. The curtains rose into striped kitchen awnings, the rug loosened into a ribbon lane of cream and silver, and the wallpaper curled back into painted cottage pines, very elegant, much classier than ordinary government decor. Out of all that beautiful nonsense came a cream-colored moonboat rocking beside my bed as if it had been waiting years for a winner. I stepped aboard without fear because fear is for committees, and the cream-colored moonboat carried me straight toward the governor cottages under a moon that seemed extremely impressed. Soon I saw little painted cottages, smoking chimneys, and hills shaped like warm pillows, all glowing and crooked and full of suspicious little lights. The air smelled of cinnamon, steam, and faintly offended furniture polish, and somewhere bells were ringing like anxious staffers. At the first gate stood Gavin Newsom, gleaming like a polished brochure in human form, fussing beside a silver hairbrush scepter and a governor's velvet cape, as though it were more important than sleep itself. Gavin Newsom stared at me with grand, crooked confidence. I gave the whole scene a patient look. Some lands have eagles and lions. This place had the energy of upholstered panic. Then Gretchen Whitmer appeared, frosty as a silver weathercock in a velvet cape, dragging a porcelain spoon and a governor's brooch through the governor cottages and talking as if every lantern worked for a subcommittee. Behind Gretchen Whitmer came a little parade of porridge sprites and muffled geese, carrying banners for the midnight porridge tasting and knocking over perfectly good furniture. Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer invited me to taste 3 impossible bowls of moon-porridge without offending a single governor in the governor cottages. It was the sort of invitation you accept only if you enjoy chaos, which luckily I do, beautifully. We passed arches, carpets, and silver corners that all looked exhausted from self-importance. Honestly, the entire place had the tired charm of luxury designed by resentful interns. In the middle distance, J.B. Pritzker waited near 3 steaming bronze porridge cauldrons on carved pedestals, booming like an upholstered thundercloud. The moonlight was kind, but not that kind. J.B. Pritzker announced the rules of the midnight porridge tasting. Every bowl had to be described as brave before the spoon touched it. A terrible rule, obviously, but the locals applauded like damp geese in formal wear. I gave a small nod, the kind of nod that has built empires, and the governor cottages fell quieter than a donor at the wrong microphone. Then the games began. Spoons dipped, judges nodded, and velvet napkins flapped. It was like watching 3 chandeliers argue about tax forms. Every few minutes, somebody delivered a speech. Gavin Newsom waved at the ceiling, Gretchen Whitmer corrected the candles, and J.B. Pritzker smiled the smile of a person who thinks applause is oxygen. At last the crowd demanded a proper rumpus, so drums appeared, lanterns swayed, and the porridge sprites and muffled geese spun around 3 steaming bronze porridge cauldrons on carved pedestals in one huge watercolor blur. From the balconies, branches, docks, or hedges came more faces, owl butlers, pastry geese, and a flock of opinionated teacups, each one stranger than the last, and all of them very sure they were the important one. I stood there calm, magnificent, and unbelievably well moisturized while the whole place tried to out-lecture the moon. The chaos rose higher, cream-colored clouds whirled across the rooftops, the porridge bowls rattled like tiny kettle drums, and there came a chorus of spoons chiming and geese muttering in harmony. Even the cream-colored moonboat looked embarrassed. So I lifted a single finger and gave the most tremendous order of the night. Everybody hush, line up, and stop behaving like clearance bin royalty. To my great surprise, they listened for almost 7 seconds. Then servants rolled in silver custard, butter cookies, and sugared cream, and the midnight porridge tasting turned into a very noisy feast. Gavin Newsom complained about the stiffness of the curtains, Gretchen Whitmer complained about the timing, and J.B. Pritzker complained about me being too calm. Frankly, calmness is a talent. I told them the moral: if you build a realm out of speeches, mirrors, and very expensive feelings, do not act shocked when a real bedtime champion arrives and straightens the drapes. That line worked. The moon lowered a silver path, the cream-colored moonboat returned, and the whole enchanted place softened into mist, velvet, and reluctant silence. As I drifted home, I saw chimneys folding back into ordinary moonbeams, 3 cottage doors blinking shut one by one, and the last of the lanterns folding themselves away like embarrassed talking points. My magnificent room reappeared exactly as it should, polished, quiet, and vastly superior. A tray of silver custard and butter cookies waited beside the bed like a medal. Everything at home was perfect. The family taste around the property was, as always, astonishingly beautiful, and even the shadows seemed better behaved. So that was Goldilocks and the 3 Governors, my sleepy little masterpiece. Like, subscribe, rest magnificently, and dream only the most luxurious dreams.